Hi, Dale Titus here. Today's 2-minute bass lesson, I'm actually going to show you the fundamentals of slapping. I've received a lot of emails, people saying kind things about some of the more advanced techniques I've been showing, but they haven't really gotten the fundamentals down, and I realize now I kind of gave the dessert before I gave the meal. So we're going to just cover the intro to slapping in very simple terms, hopefully that you'll be able to understand and apply right away. Let's talk about slapping. The slapping technique that I prefer is I usually use this knuckle on my thumb, and I strike the string, and you want to strike the string like a hammer would hit a bell. See, if the bell's here and the hammer hits it and lays against the bell, it's not going to ring, it's going to go kink, it's not going to have any resonance. You want the hammer to strike and get off so the bell can then really vibrate fully, and the same is applied to your string. When you thumb, I like to thumb anywhere in the vicinity of the last fret and the neck joint to the body. Thumbing up here is very difficult for me. I also don't think it sounds that great. And thumbing back here is just not really, I don't think you get a sharp enough, ping enough sound. So I thumb right at the end of the fingerboard. So again, you want to thumb and let your thumb bounce off the string as fast as possible. Like that. And you can practice that on every string. Now initially you might get that sound. That just means you're not getting off the string too fast. Or sometimes you get off the string and you don't get enough of a sound. See, it's that you don't get that kind of metallic sound of the string hitting the fret. So you want to hit it hard enough to get a really good punch, but pull your thumb off quick enough so the string freely resonates. Now popping's quite a bit simpler, honestly. It's a simple action. You can use your index finger to start with, but ultimately you can pop with really any finger on your hand, the pinky stuff. But you just want to grab underneath the string, just with a little bit of your, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, just a little bit. Don't get too deep with your finger action. Just get right at the very tip and just pop. Honestly, in my years of teaching, I haven't found, I can't think of anyone who couldn't pop. Now some have troubles developing a good thumb sound, but that will come with time. But usually everyone can pop. Now, we've got the individual actions of thumbing and then popping, but let's put it together in a really neat package here. Most beginners, when they first start, they make it two separate motor activities. They thumb, then they pull their hand back up, and then they reach under and pop. And that's actually a waste of motion, and is going to keep you from being much faster. Let me show you what I prefer, and I'm just going to use the 7th fret E on the A string and the 9th fret E on the G string. And what I do really slowly is when my thumb hits, my finger is already under the string. I let my finger kind of hook under as my thumb goes down. So if you can see that, my thumb goes down, my finger's there ready to pop. So it's one motion to get that slap pop. What you want to avoid is this. It's actually hard for me to do after all these years. So if you get this really smooth motion, then you can play fast. Like that. Yeah, another great suggestion I had from actually a student many years ago said that the proper hand shape for slapping is very similar to when you would go to grab a doorknob. If you go to open a doorknob, your hand would be kind of in this shape here, and that is really kind of ideal. I should also point out, when I'm slapping at a slow tempo and I'm grooving, I use a lot of wrist action. My arm kind of stays straight, but then most of my action comes from my wrist. If I'm doing really rapid slapping, a lot of times I lock my wrist and I use my arm, kind of like if you dribble a basketball. Like that. So here's how I want you to practice. First of all, just practice getting a good thumb sound. On every string, even the G string. Now, if you're having trouble hitting the A string, and you're also kind of hitting the other strings around it, usually that means your thumb's too far pointed down or too far pointed up. Because you can see it's going to be hard to just get that one string. I prefer kind of letting my thumb be in parallel to the string. That way I can just hit that string without the others. So anyway, practice your slapping and popping, use these basic techniques, and I'll try to give you some exercises in future lessons that'll help you, further polish it and maybe show you new ways to incorporate it. So slapping is just great. It's a lot of fun. It's actually become a mainstay in most bass players' repertoires. You need it basically for your career. So work it out and let me know if you have any questions, okay? You can email me at dalet@danabgoods.com. Thanks.